Let's come to an understanding. 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 Let's come to an understanding.
Let's come to an understanding.
Good, baby. What's up, everybody? This is Let's Come to an Understanding.
Let's come to an understanding. Did you want to say your name first?
My name is Amish Patel.
Amish Patel. Man about town. Drew Picklyk here. Man with sore thighs. That's what I'm called.
Oh, yeah?
I did spin class this morning.
You did spin class. Also, we tore it up at karaoke yesterday.
We did, but that wasn't. It was the spin class.
Okay, it was a spin class for sure. It wasn't the karaoke.
I would, as much as I want to say it was the karaoke, it was the spin class.
So
I wish I put that much. Spin class. I'll be spinning and I start having epiphanies of I don't work hard enough, in my life, because he's like push it, and you're like, man, I'm not pushing it. I really could be pushing it more.
It's a symbol for how you do everything. I mean,
it
that's
is.
why the
It's
most
a metaphor.
high-functioning people, they wake up, they do that first, and they're like, I got the win.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to go take the day like that.
Yeah.
And that's why comedians have a hard time. It's a pretty lazy culture. I love my people.
It's a very lazy culture.
But it's a pretty lazy culture. We're not told to work that hard, really.
It is a very lazy culture. Amish, just one thing. So
tell me.
One thing that I want you to maybe work on.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay.
This isn't even about me. Well, this isn't even about me.
Some communication issues?
No. This isn't a personal thing.
Okay.
Because we're getting fan mail now, right?
Oh,
we're
dear.
7 episodes deep.
Oh no!
And
someone's mad at me for some.
There were some comments you made.
Okay, here we go.
There were some
Correction.
issues.
Am I getting corrected?
Well, there's just some issues. This is coming from Prabjot Kaur out of the Lower Mainland, BC.
Listening.
She's from the Lower Mainland in BC.
What's up, Prabjot? Go easy on me.
R.E. Modi and your opinions and your feelings about Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India.
Yeah.
Prab is saying he's not winning the vote hard. He manipulated a lot of the votes, plus the media is in his control. Also, he's super good at presenting a non-existent outside thing to the people as an immediate threat and taking the credit after solving the non-existent matter. Like the whole bombing in Pakistan he did right before the elections this year, which nobody has the pictures for. So right before the election, he presented himself as the quote-unquote gatekeeper and quote-unquote protector of India whilst ignoring issues like unemployment that has only risen since he got elected and, all caps.
Oh, all capsing on the end.
Yeah, diverting the attention to this external thing from much urgent and pressing internal issues. Classic. Well, Amish.
Was the classic all caps or no?
The classic was in all caps, but
Okay.
it was his own sentence. So, Amish, can respond.
Okay, winning.
Because I think people are listening to the show. They're being like, "This guy is a Modi apologist."
They think I think.
Yeah.
That? Okay.
Well, maybe you're coming off as a Modi apologist. Let's clear the air.
This is what happens, man. This is what happens, and it's like we got to be able to do commentary on people. I don't like Trump. I don't like this guy. I don't like Modi. But you got to talk shit, and you got to just say what happened. So this whole thing of him having more votes. Mm-hmm. That's an argument that it's like it's an interesting argument because it's like, okay, technically, yes, I'm sure he stole a bunch of his votes. But the way India works is that, and I think a lot of countries are like this. It's like
Prabjot is she's immigrated from India as well.
So
she's a little bit.
She knows better.
She's a little bit deeper in it than you are right now.
Of course, but my thing is
even though I count Brampton as India,
I know. Because I'm from Brampton, I think this counts maybe.
And I think it's just a seed from Canada.
I lived there too. I lived there too.
I know
for 2 years, and I went a lot when I was a kid.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna say the whole saying that all the votes aren't Democratic votes and a lot of them are corruption.
Yeah.
Even purchasing that corruption is actually a form of political power. It's weird. It's like if you can
explain that a little bit more though, because I think you're gonna get in this. I think I'm gonna get another letter with that sentence right there.
What I'm saying is that if you have the people behind you, you get to do a little more of the corruption. The other parties are all corrupt too. They're all corrupt.
Okay.
This is not an apology.
This is a long response.
This is not an apology for him. This is just saying that it's almost the corruption is almost like electoral college stuff. It's like so ingrained.
You're saying it's culturally ingrained.
Systematically. I don't want to say culturally.
Not culturally. I'm not saying Indian people are corrupt.
I think it's systemically. It is pretty. It is.
Although, are you saying Indian people are corrupt?
No, I'm just saying the system's built like that.
I'm just trying to get more letters. I love
But
that we're getting fan mail.
I like that we're getting.
Even
I
if
do
it's just-
appreciate. Prabhjot,
even if it's just
I do
aggressive
appreciate.
criticism of Amish. Hold on, she goes on though.
Oh no,
She
that's
goes,
not it.
Also, I attached a screenshot of the article telling how the voters' names were missing, most of them being Muslim and Dalit, which in brackets she's written lower caste.
Yeah.
And these people who would be the ones who would vote against him. Also, just saying democracy. Also, this is a criticism to you directly.
Right.
Also, comma, just saying democracy is a lie just because he won doesn't mean he should have.
Yeah, I'm not saying he should have either, though.
Democracy ain't going to do shit for minorities. Actually, here's the article I was talking about. There's an
Yeah.
article passed to me. Also, according to the website, there were actually 12 crore people who weren't registered to vote, 7 crores of which were either Muslim or Dalits. And there's a missing voters article. And then there's a second point now. So
That's all 1 point.
I cut up the first point. I mean,
That's
you've
all 1
upset.
point?
You're always trying to listen. We're always trying to come to a
Prabhjot is so
standing.
pissed.
We're always trying to come to an understanding.
Prabhjot.
I'm
What?
reading. You have to.
No,
you have
this
to.
is-
You need
this
the
is what
mental
happens,
acuity to
man.
focus. You
Okay,
need to
but let me
focus.
just make one. Let me just make one last point.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, okay.
I'm loving the fan
I'm
mail.
not.
I'm loving
not
the fan mail.
here.
Loving the fan mail.
I'm entitled to an opinion, but I'm not an educated or smart person like that.
Well,
so let's do. But that's not to write it all off. This is a great this is a
Okay.
great thing. But I'm just gonna say.
I don't.
for the
But I
first-
don't think we should listen. We shouldn't be taking this as a personal attack against you. Okay.
I do appreciate it.
It's not a personal attack. It's
no, but-
more of a. It's more of that we're trying to. This whole show is about expanding the discussion.
Look, the
right?
podcaster
What
in
are
me
we
is very
not
proud.
talking about?
The podcaster in me is very proud.
Okay.
But like the political person in me is like you're getting flexed on, and I get it.
But we gotta.
I get it. But I think just going to the first point still is I'm just gonna say
Uh-huh.
I don't support him, but I think we got to be able to talk about people that we don't like.
Right.
And just say like people. I feel like even with like Donald
Acknowledge
Trump,
their accomplishments without celebrating them.
yes,
Maybe.
great. That's great because
Acknowledge accomplishments without celebrating
celebrating.
them, so that we can work against them
Yeah.
going forward.
like you
Figure out the mechanism.
you
Okay.
look at someone like Donald Trump too. It's like sometimes people want you to say like he's a scumbag after every sentence,
Right.
and it's like okay, I do think he is, but can
Yeah.
I just talk about this story that happened? And while I'm talking
No.
about it, do I have to break down and cry? Can I just say these are the facts of what happened?
Possibly.
Sure. Let's go to the second point.
Okay, second point. Yes, this is how colonial rulers left it, and yes, this is the situation that these people find themselves in. But both Congress and BJP, and we're going to get it to the old colonial rulers themselves maybe falling apart later on in this episode. That's on the docket.
Yeah.
But both Congress and BJP, sorry, blowjob protectorate, the BJP.
The blowjob protector. Yeah, that's how you remember. That's just how Drew remembers it.
That's
He's
a little.
not insulting them.
No, I'm not insulting the BJP.
Although they are the
or
Modi
Modi
party. Yeah, but
or the Modi party. It's just a little. What's that called when you have like a little onomatopoeia? Is that what it is? Am I using that word right?
something like that. I know what you're doing.
It's a little trick. The blowjob protectorate,
It's
the
just
BJP. That's
the
what
letters
I say.
B, J, and P.
BJP.
There's no. It's not like a word that you can not mispronounce.
But both Congress and BJP upheld those colonial divide and rule ways to stay in power, which is not okay. Okay, so she's saying, she's kind of with you on that, saying systemically there's issues here because
Right.
both of them are holding up that the divide and conquer
But
thing.
I do love when sometimes you see an acronym from another country and you're like, what's this? The Bajapi? It's the Bajapi or like something. You know what I mean?
The Bajap.
It's like you're almost expecting it to be a different thing, but it's BJP. Yeah.
Blowjob protectorate.
Blowjob protectorate. That's how you.
Modi fueled the Muslim genocide in Gujarat, and Congress was involved in the Sikh genocide in Delhi. I didn't know about the Sikh genocide.
I didn't know about
in
the
Delhi.
Sikh genocide. I didn't know Congress was involved in that.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
see, this is good. This is good.
This is great.
Listen, we can't let our egos.
Listen, I don't.
We got to put the shoulders down.
The
We got to put the
podcast is
shoulders
on.
down.
Comment's a comment.
Okay.
Podcast is on. We got a listener and we got a comment, and that's really that's my win for today. But go on.
Okay. Modi is a Hindu nationalist. He is a member of the RSS.
What did I say he is? Did I say he's not?
Again, you're a little Modi apology. I think it was also you had the comment you were using the term like small genocide or light genocide. You're saying light genocide. I think that might have set people off. We'll play back the tapes, but you
She's gonna make a tape.
there was well it's on like the first episode or something.
Who made the tape?
We made the tape.
We
What do you
did.
mean? We
Okay,
made
go
the
ahead,
tape.
go ahead.
Amish, this is recorded and broadcast globally. And it's super easy.
We're looking for syndication.
Hold on. And it's super easy to pinpoint the things that he's doing which are not okay, like changing the Urdu/Islamic city names to something non-Islamic, selling airports to private companies,
He's doing that?
occupying Kashmir. About that, I'm not sure what Congress's stance is, but both parties are garbage anyway. So Prob is kind of like down with the system a little bit, is what I'm getting from this. I don't know, Prob. Send me another thing if that's. I don't want to misinterpret
I mean,
or misspeak.
what she's saying here about Congress being bullshit, that's kind of the point that I was trying to make on the first one, which is a lot of their votes are corruption, but basically you buy your corruption votes. It's almost like the masses have to give you the ability to take the corruption too.
So you're saying
that's what it seems like.
So
to
like,
me when
so this is the So just to synthesize, this is the argument that you're making with Trump by saying the people through the government system, through like an electoral college, right, or through the systems of parliament in India, right, that things are being able to be exploited with somewhat of a consent of the majority voting population. Seemingly, which allows like Republican voter suppression in certain states in America.
Yeah,
things
it's kind of like how Republican
It's
voter
along those
suppression.
lines?
Republican voter suppression. It's not going to happen in a Democratic area.
Or like how
It's going to happen in their area where everyone supports them, and then they can pass a thing that's kind of unfair, and then everyone who's in charge is like,
Right.
okay, we're not going to enforce this, or we're not going to do anything about it. So they're able to get away with their corruption. It's exactly like Republican. They get away with their corruption, their gerrymandering, whatever. Or that's why they gerrymander. But they get away with like the voter suppression in places where they have a stronghold in. So the fact that he can do the corruption that he needs, a lot of it, it's because he has support all the way down there where people are like, okay, well, sure, we'll turn a blind eye because it's our boy.
Okay, so
and
that's
Congress
what it is.
does not have that.
They don't have that support.
They don't have it, and it's almost like the same issue as their vote. Like they have weak leadership. It's the grandson of the first guy who it's this guy is like their Trudeau. It's like we have our Canada's a place where a Trudeau can be a prime minister.
Well, I was going to say one thing about the whole electoral or systematic governmental dysfunction. Just on our thing, it's like the whole first past the post where Trudeau said he was going to get away with that once the Liberals got into power. But then you realize, it's a pretty good way to stay in power.
Yeah.
So we don't actually want to touch it. We don't want to touch it.
Yeah, and him saying we don't want to touch it. And then also his people in the party. Like, people put him there. They probably have some control over him. They probably have some things where they're like, you probably think that this SNC thing is bad, but you're not allowed to speak out on it because we're just not going to win again or whatever.
Exactly.
So he gets controlled like that. But anyway, go on.
So, okay, this is wrapping it up, but this is Prob's final say on the thing. Sorry, I had a belch. We have a fucking detention center in Assam for quote-unquote illegal immigrants, many of whom are Muslim. Also, one of his Lok Sabha members, is that right?
Lok Sabha. Lok means people, and Sabha is like a gathering. People gather. It's like one of his parties. Yeah.
Okay, one of his Lok Sabha members is a terror accused, question mark, that too for a bomb blast that happened in a Muslim neighborhood. Yeah, so
don't doubt that for sure. I mean, one of his other main guys is the guy who's
so
killing
on the record. So finish your point.
I don't know about this guy that did a bomb, but I know Modi has a guy. One of his top guys is the guys who is killing people. Is he killing people for basically eating beef? He's killing Muslim men. Like I don't know if he organized that one specifically, but it was related to that article. Maybe I got to look into that again, because I can't imagine he was on that. I think he was actually more doing like a thing where he made it illegal to slaughter cows, and then he would go there, and shutting them down was violent, and like he stole it. Like it was pretty gangster the way he shut down some.
Well, yeah. What was that you're saying? Wasn't there someone you said they were going after, like Muslim people in India, saying like, oh, it was you're killing cows, and then they would attack the men.
Dude,
it's
so sad. They would.
And then
attack
what were you
them.
saying that
they would attack them? Like it would be very vicious. A lot of times the whole family would be killed. A lot of times the dad would be killed. And near and like it would be in a humiliating way and stuff like that. But but whenever they checked out the meat, always goat.
Goat every time.
It's goat every time. And this is an issue, my brothers. I'm vegetarian too, but
goat every time.
It's goat every time. Literally, I don't think even one time. There's been it's going up to 20, 30 a year of those individual attacks. And I don't think there's even one. I'm not saying that would make it okay.
I mean, this is so.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying
Like
that makes
you're
it
saying,
okay.
If it was cow,
But I can tell
if
that
it was cow, they had it coming. But
I'm not saying that. And I
I mean, you're already in the hot seat right now.
And
Okay?
I'm already vegetarian.
Let's go every time.
I agree with the no, but here's the thing: this killing people for eating beef,
Mm-hmm.
also not a good look while they're trying to get in with the Americans and the Jewish people. They're trying to
Right.
get in with them.
Big
and
beef eaters.
Beef, it's a big beef community over
Although I think consumption of beef, we're going to get to this too in a moment. Consumption of beef has gone down in America, and I've heard that chicken consumption has been on the rise.
there. Right.
Pork is swine, steady. Swine has remained steady.
They love their bacon. That's crack for them.
Swine has remained steady, but the other
Bacon
ones,
is crack.
I guess, not a lot of swine. Could the Hindus eat swine? Most
No,
are
they won't.
vegetarian, right?
No one's eating pig over there. I mean, I don't think anyone's allowed to eat pork, but I'm sure people eat it. Like there's people that just eat
You
whatever.
know what I
the fuck they
always
want.
wonder? Because you know how they say a lot of agricultural farming is related to increased amounts of greenhouse gas emissions and climate change and all that, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if the Islamic world was eating pork and like just producing it at the same level of, say, like a China or an America
Okay.
or like a South America or something like that.
Okay.
You know? Just the amount of extra, and I guess they always point to cattle as being the one, but I always think like if pork was that much more consumed globally, you know, am I onto something here?
I think no, and that is the kind of logic sometimes when you talk to older Indian men where
Pork
they'll be
logic.
Like, pork logic, or like when you talk to older Indian men. And
These
they're
are my
like,
pork thoughts.
They're like, if they find a reason like that, they're like, that's why they wrote it in our book first. They knew this was going to happen, so they said no pork. But
they said no pork for the Hindus as well?
no, but
I thought it's no cow.
it would be no cow, but they would
It's
do
no
the
anything,
equivalent.
really,
They would do the
right?
equivalent thing, like this, like what you're saying with
Uh-huh.
because cows cause a lot of global warming too. So if you tell
The most is the cow.
the most. So see that's something that an old Indian man can take, and it's almost like, what is it called when you appropriate culture or something like that?
Cultural appropriation.
And that's an argumental
What is it
appropriation.
called when you
That's an
appropriate
argumental
a
appropriation.
culture?
That's an argumental appropriation. Whereas the old Indian man
Uh-huh.
will take anything like this that supports something they believe, and they'll be like, "Well, that's why the Hindus have always said don't eat the cow,
Right.
and it's probably in the books back there." Like that's
Right.
that's the kind of thing that my uncle would say.
Your uncle.
Yeah.
Are these old Indian men just really your uncle? It sounds like it's like an old Indian man would say. It's like, well, actually, that's what my uncle said.
I don't want to. Okay.
You don't want to generalize?
No, there are like 20
Is
of
this
them,
an
and they all
archetype?
have the same opinion.
20? Oh, so when you say my uncle, you're always talking about a different uncle who said
Always-
something different.
always
but
different.
came around to the same kind of point.
Yeah, they wouldn't argue with
Okay.
each other about any of this. They would all have the same opinion.
They'd
I
be on
don't
board.
have to ask 2 or 3 of them.
They'd be on board.
Any Modi related thing, I'd ask if I could ask 1, I could ask 10. They're all in line. They
Okay.
love it. Yeah,
All right. That's good to know. Well,
that's good. Yeah.
you know, speaking of animal welfare, and Prob, I hope that answered your questions. I hope you and Amish can bury the hatchet on this.
Bury the hatchet.
I mean, he is very obtuse. He
Prob-
is very
Obtuse? Is that
he
is
can't-
that is that a smart way of saying dumb?
No, it's not. No,
A wide angle.
obtuse. I think is
A
maybe
wide
I'm using the
angle.
word wrong. No,
I think it means you're an idiot.
no, it doesn't mean you're an
I
idiot.
think that's what it means.
No, dense. Dense would be an idiot.
Okay, what's obtuse?
Obtuse to me means you're a little bit. You're a little bit of a blowhard. You know,
Obtuse is actually probably worse.
you're a bit of a blowhard.
Oh, blowhard is obtuse?
Let's look it up. I mean, for
Okay, you called me blowhard. You called
at
me
the
blowhard.
risk-
But today on my Instagrams, I hashtagged pardon the flex. I did say pardon.
You did say he did
I
say
did
pardon
say
the
pardon the
flex.
flex.
He
That's
did,
been
and
my-
you were concerned that you were getting flexed upon.
I was concerned I was getting flexed upon, and I was concerned I was flexing a little too hard. So I said pardon my flex today all day on Instagram. Because I
Pardon
was
my
on set
flex?
today shooting this great TV show written by these incredible comedy writers.
Oh, we can't give away too much about it. But
I
let's
honestly
just
don't think
say-
they care, but whatever.
Let's just say, can we give a network name?
FX. It's a great
Is
show.
it FX?
I think they're on FX.
thought
Their
it
old
was-
show was on HBO, and now I think this one's on FX.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's just the caliber we're talking here.
So they've moved from HBO to FX. So. It's a kind of show that might move from HBO to FX.
Don't you
You
wish you
you do the math.
Imagine your career's so good, you can go up to
Uh-huh.
a friend, a colleague, and be like, "Oh, you had to take FX. Oh, we'll be on HBO still."
Would you put HBO? Is HBO above FX in your eyes?
HBO's number one. HBO's
that a higher
television is
ranking-
Game of Thrones right now, and HBO is number one.
It's
the
over
king.
though. It's over.
What's over for HBO?
Okay, this is obtuse.
It is over.
This is obtuse.
What?
Yeah. Annoyingly insensitive or slow to understand. So yeah, I think I was
Hey,
right in my characterization of
you
you
know
being
what?
a little obtuse. In Prob's view.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's so accurate that I can't really get mad. That I can't really get mad at her. I'm kind of glad that it doesn't just mean dumb. Because I heard what you said and I was like, well, that's me.
No. You're not. No, you're not dumb at all. You're not dumb at all.
No,
You're very
obtuse.
on the ball. You are obtuse, though.
Obtuse, yeah. No,
You're
it's
quite
right,
obtuse.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
Okay, but back. So you
Tell
said
me.
HBO's the king. Okay. I like Billions on Showtime. That's kind of my. This is a little thing about me. I like Billions. Bobby Axe. I'm a Bobby Axelrod guy. I like Chuck Rhodes. I also like Axe.
So you're watching Billions.
know.
You're watching Billions.
When
you're
it's
not,
on.
You're not doing Succession.
I still need to get to Succession.
You haven't gotten to Succession.
That's the HBO version of Billions.
HBO.
I would say.
HBO. Are we going to get into these shows right now? Or are we going to talk about this?
I mean, is it interesting?
How do you feel? Wow.
I'll talk about anything as long as it's interesting.
Well, here's my thing. I don't think we've said this. Is very interesting. I'm
Uh-huh.
a little concerned
Mm-hmm.
because HBO is the top. But you look
Right.
at HBO. HBO invented this new game, which is you make like the long drama. You
Yeah.
could say the golden age of television. You could say it was spurred. It was pioneered maybe by HBO. Could you say that?
Like with The Sopranos and Sex and the City?
I think they started it.
Okay.
Can we not say that?
Well, they used to have the line, it's not TV, it's HBO.
Exactly. They took it to
Yeah,
another level.
They did take it to another
Once
level.
they did it, then AMC, Showtime, FX, they all came out of the water.
Everyone came out of the water.
Everyone came out of the water. And Netflix tried to get on that.
Like
Amazon.
an engorged body.
Yes.
They started floating out of the water.
Yes. But first to market is definitely HBO.
First was HBO, yeah.
And here's the thing. Golden age of television.
Yeah.
I feel like 70%, again, this might be the obtuseness here, but it's 70% of all these high-end, super smart, glossy shows
Yeah.
are basically Game of Thrones in some industry. So it's like
Right.
Game of Thrones is Sopranos is Game of Thrones for
But
mafia.
Sopranos was before Game of Thrones.
It was, but I'm just calling it Game of
But
Thrones.
you're just
of-
saying it's a large. You're just talking about the way the shows are kind of structured.
shows
There's a
are
large, bigger narrative, many characters,
No.
many.
Let me be specific what the issue
Okay.
is. The reason why I'm calling it Game of Thrones is because the narratives are all
power.
this is Sociopath Olympics.
Okay.
This is a Sociopath Olympics. This is a
Right.
House of Cards. Okay, who's
Right.
gonna be the president?
Yeah.
It's the one who can murder the 20-year-old. Okay, this other like TV show. Every single one of them, even something like Wolf of Wall Street.
It's all sociopath Olympics.
It's all sociopath. It's America. They're
Mhm.
corrupt. This is their culture. This is who they are right
It's
now.
our culture to a degree. no?
Canada, you think so?
Isn't
I always
it?
thought we were a sub. We were a Dominion state, and we never really took the top.
I think you take solace in this Dominion state mentality.
Drew,
Like
there's-
it's not as bad, but I mean it's all part of like a larger global apparatus.
I
you know
get
what
what you're saying, but I
capital
literally.
capital has no boundaries.
But I'm saying
has no
we
borders.
are literally still a Dominion state. I'm talking about Canada, Europe, Australia. You could say that we're the
How do you mean?
Dominions
How's Europe a Dominion?
to America. Like what you're saying. You're saying we're all part of this
Oh,
capitalist
okay.
system. America's number one. They set the tone. Like you
Sure.
look at how Trump gets in power and he's a right wing maniac. Everyone's got their right wing maniacs who are coming up in the game all over the world. It's
Like
almost
Modi, will you come out and condemn Narendra Modi forcefully?
I feel like I have so many times. What do you want?
Why are you avoiding the question? Why can't you just?
Yes, I think he's. Yeah, I
Yes.
think-
What?
I think. Look, so can we be specific about the issues? I don't know. The last thing I read was he
Uh-huh.
helped take over a temple in Ayodhya. Which
Oh,
is
so
like the
do you
old-
think that's helping? That's him helping?
No. I mean, guys, they did the date on it. It was it was Muslim until 93.
Right. We discussed this
And then
last
400
episode.
years before that, it was Hindu.
We discussed this
And
last episode.
sometimes I just feel like, can we let go of the past? You know, there's a great Joel Osteen quote where he says, your wind.
You love your Joel Osteen.
I love my Joel Osteen. And he's talking about
Okay.
car. He's talking about a car windshield.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, there's a reason why the windshield is this big and the rear view is this big, because the Lord wants you to look forward.
Oh, okay. Well,
We need to look to the future, brother.
that is. You know
What
what?
is
That is
400
that
years
is
ago?
pretty insightful. I do like that.
I mean,
quote.
look, man, you got the dates and you figured out that it was Hindu first,
But
but
what's
it's like,
good for everybody?
I mean, can you let go of the temple? It's 400 years ago.
Anyway, back to what we were saying just a moment ago about everything being Game of Thrones,
Well, this is-
sociopath Olympics. But in Canada, okay, Kevin OLeary, big old Canadian. That being said,
Dr-
he's really making it pop down in the States now. But
Okay.
OLeary, big old Canadian.
Did you see this drunk driving thing he did?
Was he drunk driving?
I think we were at the gym the other day, and I think his wife was drunk driving, and then he just took it.
Oh.
No, I think he was, and his wife pretended that it was her.
I think there was something with a boating accident and someone got killed or something.
Yeah, but on the
hazy
thing,
on the facts.
hazy on the facts on that one. I just saw it in the background.
Yeah, again,
at
hazy
the
on
gym.
the facts.
But I think I saw we saw in
Is
writing.
that the same as saying alleged? Hazy on the facts.
Hazy on the facts is alleged.
Legally, is it when we say hazy on the facts, we mean alleged or we don't know or don't quote us. We need to get a lawyer for
I'm
this
gonna
show.
I'm gonna say, hey, I'm just gonna call myself stupid. I think that's a good protection. Is it?
I don't think it is.
You don't think so? Okay, fine.
No.
But I'm gonna say
Obtuse, because we've already defined that you're
Obtuse, fine.
obtuse.
But I'm gonna say the HBO making Succession,
Yeah.
Sociopath Olympics, every single TV show. These are supposed to be the liberal progressives of our time.
Mhm.
They're at the top of these institutions. We're at the golden age of television. Why is 60-70% of it just a Sociopath Olympics in a different spot? Every single show. Succession, and you're watching it,
Yeah.
and just like Wolf of Wall Street, he does all this terrible shit.
I didn't love Wolf of Wall Street, by the way.
Sure, but all the guys who did, and like Goulet has
Yeah.
the best bit about this, but which I don't know. But the point is, I don't know if I can do it, but
Go ahead.
it's basically, I won't do the whole thing, but basically he says, it's Goulet Abdi, shout out to Goulet Abdi, and hey,
Goulet, Tall Boys, CBC.
Tall Boys on CBC. One of my favorite
CBC
jokes.
Jam.
CBC Gem. One of my favorite jokes that he does. He says that basically he was in a sales job, and the training interview they showed him a pump up from Wolf of Wall Street,
Yeah.
and he was just saying like, I don't think you got the point of the movie.
Yeah.
And it's very true in the sense that it's very true, man. Like you look at all that, it's like 2.5 hours of this guy's killing it,
Right.
and then 5 minutes of like, oh yeah, I went to jail. And even in real life, he's on YouTube right now selling his new class.
No, he's doing podcasts. He should be on our show.
He should be on our
We
show.
should get him in the
call
bedroom.
We should call him. But that Jordan Belfort,
You know,
right?
by the way, I think doing a podcast in your bedroom, logistically, it really hurts in asking anyone to do the show. Do you know what I mean?
Look, man,
It's
you
like-
want to pay for studio?
No, it's not even
We're
that.
here, baby.
No, it's not even that I want
But
to
in
pay.
the summer, we
it's
can
not
just
even
do it
that I
outside.
want to pay for the studio. Oh, no, it's not even about that. It's just more like, oh, yeah, we record in Amisha's bedroom. Come by. It's kind of tight
Hey,
quarters.
It's very tight. Like I'm very close to you right now.
Yeah, we are very close. But
I
do
can.
it for you
I'm mobile
guys.
though. I can just go to like I did Melissa's. I went to her. Melissa, who I have a couple of her bits up. I just went to her patio on the rooftop. It was
Okay.
very
Well, we'll talk about this off air, I guess. This is we're showing them. Although you wanted to start showing them how the sausage is made, but
I think we should show them how the sausage is made.
in your bedroom, we're gonna show them how the sausage is made in Amisha's bedroom.
Well, weren't you the one saying that when you're we never got our no fat motivational, but remember you were the one saying that
What?
like when you hold in, and all of the no
You said
masturbation
this
courses,
You said this the other day.
all
yeah.
the no masturbation courses say the same thing. You hold it in, and then people want that juice.
What does that have to? What the fuck does that have to do with anything we've just said?
It has to do with
What are you talking about?
don't hold back the beautiful goodness that you have. Let it out.
In relation to what? Into what are you talking about?
I'm talking about show people the sausage.
Oh, okay. You're saying hold on to it also, because then
No,
when
no,
you let it out,
I'm
it's
saying-
gonna
I'm
be
saying-
even better.
I
This analogy's fucked.
okay. Maybe
This is
the
a fucked
It's
analogy.
maybe a bit of an obtuse analogy, but let's just
Yeah,
say
I don't
that
wow.
showing people the sausage, I think people want to see the sausage.
All right, we got to get back on track. Anyway, yeah, I agree.
I'm talking
Sociopath-
about the sausage of a podcast.
I know, but it's okay. Sociopath Olympics.
I'm just saying, man, HBO, they're supposed to be like the top of our culture. They're supposed to teach us something. I think that's how they feel about it. All their
But
their major
television
shows-
now isn't it's not like it used to be where they're trying to have a clear delineation of like good and bad or whatever. They're trying to show the gray areas that exist within life and within drama and comedy and all that
Right.
stuff. They don't want everyone to be inherently likable or detestable. They
true.
want to have like a, complex characters.
I understand that.
But you just think everyone's a sociopath.
No, not everyone. I mean, if you watch these shows, though,
But the
like
people who we fixate on, well, I think a lot of probably people who are very successful in our culture have some sociopathic tendencies.
that seems like how you become the president.
Yeah, probably helps.
And that's what House of
gotta
Cards. And House of Cards is supposed to be about Bill Clinton.
Is it?
Loosely, like it's supposed to be more like a liberal guy anyway.
Yeah.
And
You
he's
get
from
that
the South.
impression.
You get that impression. He's like liberal from the South, and he's got that charm. He's got that
Mhm.
liberal charm, that like,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, good with the ladies and all this stuff too.
Right.
So it's but ultimately like he's evil.
Yeah, he's Kevin Spacey. So
And he is Kevin Spacey. How crazy though, Kevin Spacey. See, this is how deep the brainwashing goes. That even Kevin Spacey, he gets busted and he's like, you know what? I'll just do a banger House of Cards monologue and they'll let me back in. It's like, dude,
that was insane.
that was insane, man.
All right, we got it.
Almost as bad as Prince. What's his name? But
You can never get his name.
Edward.
Alfie, what's his name? Alfie.
Alfie. Albert.
What's his
Edward.
name?
Edward.
No, again, you don't have it.
What is it?
Andrew.
Oh, Andrew. Okay. It's been a long day.
Listen,
Okay,
man,
let's go. Let's keep it moving.
we got to talk about because we had a good segue and we fucked it. I mean, whatever. Well, we were talking about the killings of the cows and it was goat the whole time. And all
Yeah.
that because in Ontario, okay, now we're gonna bring it home because we like to talk about Ontario issues for Ontarians. Okay, if you look at our podcast statistics, the most amount of people who listen to our show are based out of Ontario.
Of course.
Why is that? Why is that? Of course.
Because we're in Ontario, so our friends are all in Ontario, and they're the ones.
Whoa! It's not friends. It's fans.
Fans, okay. But even that, like,
It's fans,
I
it's
can
fans.
go out. I can go out and tell someone about the podcast, and then they'll just listen to it.
I also tell people though, when you're listening, you're not my friend. You're my fan. And
If you're listening to this, we're not friends anymore.
Well,
Sorry.
No.
Well, we broke
Not
up,
anymore.
and
But
that's
just it's like
You
it's
never
like
were. You deleted them.
no. It's like no. We still are friends, but it's a different relationship because if I'm working at Price Chopper and you come to buy groceries from me, you're not buying groceries from your friend. I'm sorry. This is a customer employee relationship now.
We gotta
so
keep things
if
professional.
you're listening to my podcast, we're not just right now. You're a fan, and that's okay.
Just do my job, guys.
That's
We're
okay.
Just doing our jobs.
You know, we can be friends after you put the earbuds down. We'll be friends again.
And we'll
you
be
know?
friends again. But for now,
But actually, don't put them down. Keep listening because I need more fans than friends at this point. Okay, we want to get a Patreon at some point.
we're in my
anyway.
bedroom. Did we mention that?
We're
It's
in Amish's
We're in
bedroom.
my bedroom. So
Anyway, this is for the Ontario fans out there.
Great.
So there's a new bill that's being proposed that is going to curb animal rights protesting in the province. In the province out there, Doug Ford, our vulnerable premier, has put forth a bill that is going to block not only protesting but whistleblowing. So that's to mean like if you get a job, and my good friend works at a slaughterhouse in Ontario. By the way, he's probably I'd like to know what he hears about this. But there's a lot of people raising issues of free speech with this coming up, right? Because say you're a guy, you get a job at one of these slaughterhouses, and you got the job with the idea of going undercover, kind of showing what's going on, showing the public what's happening there, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're saying if you fail to disclose that you're part of some animal rights activist group or anything like that prior to getting a job at a slaughterhouse, that you could face penalties and I think potentially jail time.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Like it seems like a little bit of like, whistleblower protection. This is like Trump. Where's the whistleblower? Show me the whistleblower. You know?
Yeah, these guys. These are pro-business dudes. These
Very
are pro-business.
pro-business.
Very pro-business. Very right-wing. Robbie Ford. Why would you call him the vulnerable? Is he
Not Rob Ford, Doug Ford.
Sorry, Doug Ford. Why are you saying he's vulnerable though? As the premier of Ontario.
Not vulnerable, venerable.
Oh, venerable. Yeah. No, he's not
Vulnerable.
vulnerable. He got he's there.
He's the majority. He has the majority. I
Yeah,
was saying
yeah.
that ironic. It was ironic.
Venerable.
I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
saying that ironically.
I get it. But he's pro-business through and through. They don't care. I guess they just don't care about animals. They look at animals as like, why are you scared of that? Why are you worried about them? And I'm vegetarian myself.
Yeah, so that's why I like talking to you about this because you are a vegetarian.
I am, and I do feel like you
How do you
gotta
feel?
show people what you're putting them through.
Do you think
Maybe
though?
like that should just be open knowledge, no?
Because I think there is people who kind of get like on the case of PETA and all that, of being like, they take it too far because they're saying, they're gonna damage property. You're gonna be damaging. You're gonna make people feel unsafe to go to their jobs. You're gonna
PETA's
do this, that, and the
intense.
third. PETA's intense. A lot of animal rights groups are intense. But here's another thing I would say. All right, this is maybe a controversial take. All right,
Tell me.
very controversial. And you're gonna have to go with me and also acknowledge that I'm a black man saying this. Okay, so don't
just
don't freak out.
put that black
when I
card on the
say this.
table. Put that black card
It's
on the
on the
table.
table.
We're charging it. We're charging it today. Let's
We're
go.
charging it. Okay, but here's the thing. a lot of abolitionists in the United States in the 1800s during slavery
Yeah.
were also vegetarian.
Oh man.
Did you know that?
We're going into some ugly territory right now.
I'm just saying.
We're going into some
Buckle
sad
up
shit.
and hang with me, okay?
We're getting deep. We're getting philosophical.
But
okay,
I'm saying,
keep going,
I'm
brother.
saying that they saw it as morally repugnant that you would have people put in chains and enslaved and work for you. And I think that they also saw it, that level of empathy that they felt extended to animals,
Yep.
right? On another level. Not comparing people with animals. I'm just saying that level of empathy extended to that point. So when I'm thinking about someone who is like working with PETA or who's like this big animal rights activist today, in their mind, I have to imagine that they see that as so barbaric and cruel that they're willing to kind of put themselves out there and go on the line to make that point known of how much they disagree and how immoral they think that is. Did I get that out okay?
I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're saying
You know,
saying
did that point come out?
How violent does
That's a-
PETA
that's a-
get?
I
Like,
well,
how
they
far
would throw like red paint on people who wear fur coats and all that stuff.
Okay,
and
we're calling that violent. Okay, fine.
people call that
Fair.
violent. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
They would. I don't know. They've probably done some damage to businesses and property.
They do business and property.
But the thing is, if
damage.
they think the business or the property is wholly immoral, I don't know. It's kind of like well, no. Okay, so this is kind of on the other side of it now.
Okay, tell me. On the
Someone
other
who thinks
side.
abortion is fully immoral and then murders an abortion doctor. Not to say that that's right.
No, it's not. No.
And that should be against the law. I don't think you should be killing people at all. But I think
Yeah.
it's like
Well, you're losing your point. If you're saying, "Hey, I
No,
believe in the
no,
sanctity of
no.
life," bang, bang, bang.
well, yeah,
That's a
exactly,
little weird.
Exactly. If you
That's
do
a
the
little
thing to,
bit.
like, bang, bang, bang.
let's
Doesn't make
not-
much sense.
Let's not.
Doesn't
yeah.
make much sense. You've drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit too much. But I'm just saying these are people with convictions. These are
Yeah.
on all sides here. There are people with convictions with a lot of strong beliefs. And if you're an animal rights activist, and I think just for democracy, you start putting in these little things that make it harder for people to protest. And you know what else is really disgusting? What I'm most disgusted by this,
Mhm.
we're copying similar laws that are being proposed in Alberta.
U.S. Oh, Alberta. Okay, because the U.S. has a lot of places where
No,
you're
no,
not
no.
allowed to do this anymore.
Can I just say something? Alberta? This is Ontario, okay? We're never stooping to the level of Alberta, okay? Have some goddamn respect.
That's what he wants.
That's
eh?
all I got to say.
That's it. That's where. That's
I
where
don't
you're
have
gonna
much
end
Alberta love. I'm not
it.
a
No
fan.
Alberta love.
Not much.
I think I'm gonna like it. That's what worries me.
You think you'd like Alberta?
I think I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna be like, I like it here. Yeehaw!
I would go there as a kid. I go to Calgary and visit my cousins and my aunt and uncle.
I can't wait to
and
go. I haven't-
Calgary's like one big old Mississauga.
I
as
can't
far as
believe
I'm
I've been
concerned.
there. Ooh, damn! That's nasty words, dude. That's
Well,
mean.
there it is. That's how I feel.
I'm gonna say this. Shout out to local YouTuber Mexi. She has a great video called "The Unpaid Labor of
Uh-huh.
Nature, Women, and Animals."
Okay.
It's those three things.
How do you spell her name on YouTube?
MEXI.
Mexi. Mexi.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mexi.
Shout out to Mexi. Great video, and that's a video that makes you think about this, where it's like this capitalist system that we're living in.
Mm-hmm.
It takes measurement of everything. It turns everything into a number, into a dollars and cents cost, whatever.
Right.
But if you're an animal, you're not getting paid. If you're a woman making a kid, you're not getting paid for that.
For sure.
You're taxed for it, if anything.
You got to
If
pay.
You
got to pay.
You
got to
pay.
kid.
In America, $40,000 US to have a kid. Oh yeah, you got to
Not
pay
40,000, but I think it's like
I-
10 to 30 or something.
to have the kid. Eh?
Still pricey.
It's still
but-
pricey in America, but in Canada,
Yeah.
you got to pay for the kid. Like it's on you more, in that way. And so these are all parts of our culture that she's saying in the video, and it's totally true. I never thought of this before. I was raised. I've said this a bunch of times as a Patel capitalist. I was raised believing in Patelonomics, and Patelonomics is capitalism.
For sure.
And then you see a video like that, and you're like, this is very interesting. And if these calculations have not been taken into place, then it's basically, when you look at what's happening with Rob Ford.
Doug Ford.
Doug
Rob
Ford.
Ford has passed
Rob
away.
Ford has passed
Rest
away.
In peace.
Rest in peace.
Rest
Sorry.
in peace.
But Doug Ford, him, Alberta, anyone who's saying, okay, you're not allowed to come and do a video of our chickens or whatever that we're slaughtering.
Yeah.
What they're basically saying is, like what the protesters doing is they're saying, let's hurt their bottom line. These people care about money and nothing else.
Right.
So let's tell everyone what they're doing to these animals.
Right.
And It's basically a
And
form
it's-
of nonviolent activism that these guys.
Well,
are-
one woman, she was part of the Toronto Pig Save, which I think that's a great name. I might use that for my own stuff. I'm a Toronto Pig Save.
Pig save.
Save this piggy. I don't know. There's nothing.
That was great.
There's nothing
I did
there.
appreciate her feeding the water to
But
the
she was
kids,
she
to
was
the
giving.
pigs.
But she got arrested and fined with feeding pigs on the way to slaughter, giving them water on the way to slaughter. They
Are
said
we animals?
you're interfering, and then the government was like, you know what? She didn't stop them from being slaughtered. Which I'm sure she would have liked to.
Yeah.
And she didn't make their lives any worse. She wasn't tormenting them before they got slaughtered. So I'm throwing this out. That was pretty much what it was.
Are we animals? Can we give these pigs some water before
Yeah.
we murder them? Come
Give
on.
the pigs a bit of water.
Give it a little
But
water.
but here's where the agriculture industry is really going to come. Here's what the farming industry, right? They really have to worry about now is all these Beyond Meats, these Impossible Burgers.
Okay.
And then now there's a company out of Israel. I don't have the name. Israel. I don't have the name of it off by hand, but they're working on the 3D printed steak. They're trying to get T-bone. They're trying to get New York strip.
Yeah.
They're trying to get tenderloins. They're trying to get a 3D printed steak, which they're calling the Holy Grail. This is from an article from Bloomberg Business Week.
Ooh.
That's not a non-endorsement of Michael Bloomberg, but just it's good publication.
Not endorsement of him, but it is a flex from Drew.
Good
Drew
publication.
reads some high-end stuff. He gets the New York stuff. But go on.
I get the New York stuff.
Drew gets the good stuff. He gets the New York. But go on.
Correct. So what they're doing pretty much is using plant-based inks to kind of reproduce faux meat, and they're projecting. I think it was Barclays Capital in the article was projecting $140 billion in revenue, or just in economic activity by 2029. So in 10 years' time, from the fake meat, plant-based meat, faux meat industry. And there's other people also trying to do stuff with cells and all that. And that is what really has these people riled up. Because if you really think about it, all this is entrenched business, entrenched industry, getting really on the defensive now. So they're saying we got animal protesters on one side, right? Then we have Silicon Valley with all the plant-based products on the other side, right? And we have cultural trends that are just changing. I know that myself. I'm trying to eat a lot less meat than or not even eat a lot less. I still eat a fair amount, but I'm trying to be more conscious about it, at least when I'm eating meat as a consumer. And a lot of this is aimed at people like me. It's like omnivore, who's not
a softie, someone that can be pulled over to the good side, to the
good
nice side. Not a softie, but someone who's
Yeah,
not
a
like down to just someone who's not happy about it. Someone who's not like I want it blood. Not to no. I mean, I guess some people that's how they eat and that's their culture. I guess, but there are people who are like, I need it bloody and I need it now. And you're talking about this grocery store in the South in America. Where was it? The grocery store you were talking about?
I think it was an issue in Missouri.
Missouri.
Where they were labeling the plant-based, but this has become a thing, and now there's a senator or a congressperson from Kansas who's trying to push something where they had the plant-based ground beef next to the real ground beef, and it said Beyond Meat, and people going, they can't say meat on the packaging. What if someone thinks it's actually meat? Well, it's called Beyond Meat. Like, I mean, if they don't read, maybe, but it's.
First they come in. They buy one house in the neighborhood, and then they're coming in. They fill the house with 25 people, and now they got a whole street.
They're terrified.
And next thing you know, you got the whole thing.
They're
basically
terrified.
like,
they're running scared.
Don't let an outsider move into the neighborhood. That's what it feels like. They're basically saying you're not allowed to put your Beyond Meat in with other meat. Yeah. This is America, dude. This is a free country. Yeah. If people want to buy their Beyond Meat, you put it where the fuck they want it. You can't do this dumbass rule of like, hey. Yep. Beyond Meat, I don't like it. No, that's crazy.
Well, they're trying to get legislation.
It's un-American. It's un-American.
There's Republican-backed bills to get legislation that all imitation meat products have to be labeled as imitation, and meat, even the word meat can't be on there.
That's
or
ridiculous.
Burger or anything
this guy's like,
that.
how dare you sully the name of meat with your vegan meat? Like they won't even. They're trying to make it illegal to put meat on it. Even.
Here's the other thing. They're saying that this one company that has the steak printers, because that's the holy grail, they say. Because right now we're getting like the nuggets, we're getting the fake nuggets, we're getting the fake burgers and all that stuff. Yeah. That's tasting more like the real thing. High sodium, though. High sodium, but it's already a processed product. The steak is there's something pure about a steak. People love that But
like it's cut off and you cook it.
This
no?
is going to be a processed steak, though, to a degree, because it's going to be using processed ingredients to do
No,
that.
but this is why it's so hard to do it, because the original thing is a real hunk of meat.
Yeah.
So now, whatever you make with your printer, you're like, there's something.
But even
seems
that
easier
argument,
about
I'm
making
like,
a burger.
how much hormones and all that stuff are being put into like the animals that we eat as it is? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's already a lot of antibiotics and hormones that are weakening our immune systems and bad for us. So now if you're gonna say it's this processed food, it's like, okay, chicken or the egg, like which is really worse?
Right. There's this one kind of processing that you do, like you're just doing a kind of processing on a living thing. It's actually kind of worse.
Yeah.
Because the thing's alive and you're just like jacking it up with hormones. So that is like a form of processing, yeah.
100%. And then another thing that they're saying is that, for one thing, the transportation costs of this, what's it called? The transportation costs of the meat industry and beef and all that stuff is a big pollutant as well, right? Shipping it all over the place, that adds to the environmental footprint. So now they're thinking that with these 3D printers, I think they're saying about around 15,000 US, you get one of these 3D printers. They can now print the stuff on site, no transportation cost, right? So that's already cutting out that part of the environmental footprint.
Oh my God,
if you're
yeah.
caring about that. Then they're saying the production cost, it's going to, because plant protein is a lot cheaper, it's going to be cheaper to produce these plant-based steaks than it is a real one.
It's got to cost
So it's going to be more cost-effective for the businesses. And then scalability, they're saying that once they get the printers, hopefully they'll be able to print 50 servings of these fake steaks per hour.
This sounds incredible. When you were talking about it yesterday, you were like, "Hey, let's invest."
It sounds too good to be true.
Let's invest in fake meat. And now that we're going through the points again, I think you're right. I think we should make an investment in this fake meat. This steak one specifically, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's very exciting, and it's very exciting as a vegetarian to see, because we were talking earlier about the traditional.
Do you want
market.
steaks? Are you always hungry for a little steak?
No, I've
Do you
never
smell
had
it
it.
ever? And you're like,
It's all gross to me because I was brainwashed
Really?
as a kid never to like meat.
okay, so
And
why would you want the fake meat then? Just as a novelty?
No. To break the industry, brother.
Oh, okay.
Because why, as a planet, why are we putting these cows through this, or chickens, or anyone?
Right.
I mean, I get it. You all eat meat still. I'm the only vegetarian, really. Even the Hindus all eating meat now. I'm the last
okay,
one.
Okay.
I'll tell you this. I was the last one. My uncle, he pressured me into eating it, and then he told my mom on me.
I know.
she cried.
I know. We addressed this on the podcast.
We did not address it.
We did. Listen,
I mentioned it, but
you
were
got to
like, "Let's
listen
talk about
back
it."
to the episodes. We talk about this.
I'm not going to do that, so
Okay.
it's fine. So here's the thing. So here's the thing. From
Okay.
what I remember, I mentioned this a couple of times, and you were saying like get into it, but I never got into the story.
No, you told the story, but it's okay. Let's not
Whatever.
dwell on it.
So the point is, I'm the only one who's not eating meat. I get it. Everyone else,
Mhm.
and people say things like, well, it's healthier, and it's like I need my protein.
Yeah.
But you're eating bacon and chicken wings. This is not a health thing. You're
Well,
just eating it because it tastes good. We're just killing stuff.
The three reasons I can kind of analyze or kind of outline for why someone goes off of meat or starts to reduce their meat consumption, if not full on vegan, it's either there's the ethical reason of how the animals are treated, right? There's the ethical
Mhm.
environmental reason of how the planet is affected by it, and then there's a health reason. Those are the three main ones that I kind of find.
Okay.
Now, I might be heartless. My thing is more health, environmental.
Hey, even as a vegetarian,
Yeah.
I do feel like, hey, while there's that's why I'm saying, like, I get it. You're all just going to eat meat. It's
Right.
not going to change for a while. And while there's people dying still, I'm not going to go to the meat. I almost have a loyalty to humanity to be like, okay,
Right.
sorry guys, we're number one. And this goes back to what
Right.
Maxie was even saying. Like the way she talks about it in her video is they're basically our slaves. And
Animals, yeah.
Yeah, and I believe in a future abolitioning of animal slavery.
Okay.
What I find exciting about this new meat tech industry is we
Mhm.
were talking earlier about the traditional businesses. They have their way of protecting themselves, and it's all financial. The traditional protesters are attacking them with, we'll take footage, we'll tell everyone what you're doing.
Right.
But this is a new attack.
The
This
third
is-
way.
This is the third way to attack.
Mhm.
You're attacking with the capitalism.
Right.
This is a beast attacking a beast, a sociopath on a sociopath. This is what I like about it. This is the real fight, because the only people that
Buffett on Gates.
That's
Bloomberg
it,
on
baby.
Trump.
That's it, baby. Because the only people that are gonna, the only sociopath that can destroy the
Uh-huh.
meat sociopath
Right.
is a Silicon Valley sociopath. And this is gonna be the great new Game of Thrones, I think, one day, where they're gonna be like, I'm
Oh yeah,
taking out meat.
this is a great.
I'm taking out meat, and we're talking about how great would it be to see like a poultry, a beef plant,
Yeah.
and then these guys start making moves like, you know what, we found some great land right across from you guys.
Right.
We just want you to. And so every day the farmer wakes up and it's like, you're done, dude.
Yeah.
we're taking it. Look how good this steak is, and just like rubbing it in his face. It's an attack, getting in his head.
So, and I mean, I think this also kind of speaks to how people are very slow to change out of like a sense of fear or like a sense of ethical responsibility.
yeah.
Because the only way we're gonna do this is
yeah.
like, well,
Hey,
can
but
you
it-
make it tastier cheeseburger?
Yeah, or it's half
If
price.
it's tastier, I'll eat
Hey,
it.
if it's half price, you know what? Let the cow live.
The flavor's not there for me.
It's
you
half
know?
price too. You know what? Let the cow live. It
Because I
does
mean,
become-
even like how it's kind of crazy that I can feel a little bit good about myself going to A&W and eating a Beyond Meat burger, but I'm still spending my money at A&W. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it's still low wage jobs for people. They're still not a great company across the board. So
Interesting. I do find that
it's weird
like,
that I get to pat myself on the back for that. But let's just talk about this one thing.
Sure.
Because so there's an article in the Guardian this week that your roommate showed us as well.
Okay.
All right, shout out to him. Where in Nepal there's a festival called Gadamai, right? Am I saying that right?
I don't know if you're saying that right because I don't. Nepal is like
Gadhimai is how they spell it. Gadamai, I think, in Nepal, and it's known as the world's bloodiest festival, and it's a Hindu celebration. And this is the thing that I was kind of surprised by. It's like the Nepalese Thanksgiving, okay?
yeah.
As we're known to believe it, because it's Hindu, so this is kind of going against what I know
Tough.
from what you've told me about Hinduism, where they sacrifice thousands in past years it was thousands and thousands of water buffalo were being slaughtered for this thing, and there's animal rights activists in Nepal who've kind of gotten and were like, hey, listen, what are you doing? And there's people like, it's we sacrifice. That's part of the tradition.
I'm a
That's part of the
Hindu, and you're
religion.
attacking my Hindu right. That's
Yeah.
vicious.
But
man.
you're telling me that
you're
I thought
cutting
Hindu,
a buffalo.
but
like,
is a buffalo not a type of water buffalo? To me, is a cow. That's
Look,
cow family.
Look, it is. I'll say this: where I'm from, the Hinduism that I practice.
Any Nepalese listeners, if you know anything about
Nepalese,
this,
if you know about this, tell me because here's the
send
thing
us some information.
Here's the thing with India. India is like okay. Imagine Europe was all forced to be one country.
Yeah.
That's a little bit what India is right now, where it's like
Right.
there's when I was
Kind
living
of like
there.
the United Kingdom's forced to be one country, which we'll address in just a moment.
We'll address that in a moment, but even
yeah,
when I lived in
stay
India,
tuned.
they would always talk about like we don't have unity, and I'm like, how are you
Right.
supposed to have unity? You're not all supposed to be one country.
Right.
This is a completely different.
But
kind of
you've also
Hinduism.
said you would like to see Pakistan, India, Bangladesh all one country.
You know what I would like to see ideally? India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. I think there needs to be like Khalistan. Like honestly, Punjab should Khalistan. They talked about separating at one point.
Uh-huh.
But like that, Gujarat, I think if they were all their own country and had an economic union like Europe, that's what makes the most sense in the future.
Like if there was more autonomy from the individual states.
Yeah, and then they have a
Okay.
voluntary association that they get into called the South Asian whatever alliance, whatever it is.
Okay.
But kind of like how European Union does it.
Okay. Yeah.
That I think is the future for
Okay.
that.
For the
but-
subcontinent.
But
Okay.
but so that being said, like where I'm from in Gujarat, like the buffalo is like it's not quite cow,
Right.
but we're talking special status for the buffalo.
The buffalo is special status.
But
Well,
in Gujarat, special
Gujarat.
status. You tell
Okay.
Gujaratis about this, I think they might be like, what, how? Like that seems very out of left field for me too.
Well, there's a big thing, and there's this thing called Pancha Bali. Again, I'm probably saying all this wrong. I apologize.
It's probably a Panchabali, but
Pancha Bali. Yeah, you say it. Go ahead.
Panchabali? I don't know. I'm assuming it's Panchabali.
All right.
Panchabali is probably Panchabali.
But this is part of sacrifice. So they start off they kick off the festival with the sacrifice of a rat, a goat, a rooster, a pig, and a pigeon.
So that's 5 animals.
That's 5
right?
animals.
Punch?
Off.
So
yeah.
we said Panchabali.
Yep.
I'm assuming maybe it means Panch, and Panch means 5.
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
Oh,
and I
okay.
wonder what Bali means, like 5 kills. Like that's like that's the opening.
5 kills.
That's the opening shot. 5 kills.
5 kills. That somes like a Steven Seagal movie.
You're just like, man, I don't know how to turn my life around, man. I'm having a hard time. All right, get me a goat, a pigeon, like, all right, I'll start doing the
And
paperwork.
We're not
we
making
can
fun of the sacrifice.
we'll make some
culture.
sacrifices. Let's get it. Let's
We're saying this respectfully of your sacrifice culture.
Okay.
But this is the kind of a thing though where it's like there is an entrenched tradition, right? And this is the thing in the States where the tradition of eating meat in the way that we have with the factory farming, not just the States, Canada,
Yeah.
Mexico, all over, right? Europe, all over we have this, right? This is an entrenched tradition under attack. This is somewhat more of like a more culturally specific one with Gadmai in Nepal. But it's also one where they now feel it's under attack, and it just seems like there's like a weird kind of like time right now where animals' rights are kind of being elevated in a way that they haven't in the past on an international scale. Because I think this is like a centuries old tradition in Nepal. This Gadma, if not older than centuries, if not millennia. Like I don't know how far it goes back, but.
Yeah, they have an anti-movement. It's very interesting.
There's an anti-movement now, and there's some people who it's kind of like, you hear the religious right in North America be like, you're attacking our Christian values. They're being like, you're attacking our Gadamai, slaughtering a couple thousand water buffalo values.
I will kill. Yeah, no, that's
because there is
It's tough. It's tough. Someone has a tradition.
It's not Eid. Is it Eid Mubarak? Which Eid is it? Well, Eid Mubarak just means like Happy Eid, right?
Yeah, but for Eid, I think.
But there's the one at the end of Ramadan, and then there's another one that they do, Eid al-Fitr, I think it is.
Yeah.
It's in August, at least right now, because it moves with the lunar calendar, I believe.
Yeah.
But that's a sacrifice holiday too. But they give the meat away. I assume they give the meat away there too, right?
They eat it. Like we got to look into that. That's almost the most important part of this to me.
But it is
because
a
if they're
sacrifice
eating
holiday.
this Nepalese one, if they're eating it,
you don't have much of an issue.
Who cares?
Well, vegetarians like yourself.
No, but everyone's eating
Vegans
meat.
like yourself.
Like
Right.
you know, when you start looking into these issues,
If it's bloodlust and like completely
that feels a little bit sad to me.
wasted life, that's the thing. Yeah, okay.
Even when it's bloodlust, like we're talking about the factory farming footage, even that, like as a Hindu, someone who like worries about these animals, sad
but
about
think
the
about
animals,
all the food waste.
I don't get it.
Think about chicken nuggets that expired and they got thrown out. That was
The chicken died for nothing.
Exactly. So in the same way, I mean, it's just if we're equating all of these things, but it's
It does
tied
get
to culture.
complicated.
I just think that this whole discussion we've talked about, this is kind of what the meat of this episode was supposed to be. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. See what we did there.
Yeah.
But no, that is kind of like the whole kind of like crux of the argument on this one. It's just like I think animals welfare is kind of it's being elevated and the discussion around it changing.
Well, we're becoming more progressive, and there's always forces that don't want to go forward. Like there's and they seem to be. You start to see the same thing. Like I'm starting to see the world as more and more as conservative and liberal forces
competing
and the liberal. But it seems like
isn't that how are you just starting to see that? That's like been what it's been for like.
I know, but you know how everyone.
As long as we've been alive.
You know how nobody wants to be like, don't call me a conservative, don't call me a liberal, or like whatever. It just seems like, I guess.
Some people actually really want you to call them that, though.
No.
Some people are totally drunk the Kool-Aid and are like, 100%, I'm down.
No, see, sometimes the most conservative people you meet, sometimes the most conservative speakers, they get offended if you call them conservative.
Right, but
and it's a form of
trying to play an angle or whatever. I don't. Okay.
Yeah, so they're just doing their propaganda, whatever.
Who knows?
But I would say this is same thing as like the conserving the old business is like and conserving the way of life is, let's say in America it's like this is how we eat it.
Right.
This is our industries are based on it. It's entrenched.
Right.
It's part of the economy. Whatever. We're trying to conserve this. And then I do. There is like the liberal thing seems to be like, hey, let's try being vegetarian.
Right.
It's the same people that it's the same people that are like, hey, let's try being vegetarian are the same ones who are like, let's let some refugees into.
Trying to try something else as opposed to just doubling down on our death cult that that we have set up for ourselves. All right. Well, we're gonna move to the United Kingdom now.
Oh.
Okay. Because we were just talking about South Asian unification, like the EU. The United Kingdom has an election a week from the Thursday this week. So the 12th of December, the UK will go to vote just before Christmas. And depending on the outcome of this vote, you might see the beginning of the unraveling of the UK.
Woo!
How do you like that?
Woo!
You seem to like that. That's getting you jazzed.
I have a boner.
You want to see it break apart. You want to see that Union Jack come down.
It is. It's just such an exciting. How exciting!
Go on. Yeah.
And this is not any kind of bitterness. Look, the British Empire. They're like the Floyd Money Mayweather of empires. That's what I think of it.
Okay.
It's like most empires. They went up, and then everyone murdered them after.
Right.
And you don't see them like so prominent. But the British, they really, and this is where everyone makes a little improvement. They took the game.
Yeah.
And then they kind of, like Mayweather, they kind of retired with the belt. They just said, you know what? Didn't
We're
take
good.
too many hits. We're good.
With what was it? With after the Second World War with Iran, I think it was. They gave it to the Americans.
They said, you know
They
what?
said, you know what? You guys try this.
We're out of the
You
game.
try it out.
And that's why when you watch The Crown and the Queen and what they're supposed to do, their whole job
Loves
is to
The
be like,
Crown.
make everyone like us.
Right.
That's basically their job.
PR.
They're PR, right?
And Andrew, you fucked up.
Andrew.
You're
like,
not making people like you.
Guys, this is the entire
Not very
royal
likable.
family's job is PR.
Yeah.
Can someone? Where was his interview? Where was his pre-interview when he went in?
Of like,
and they're like, okay, because they stopped.
Don't hang out on Epstein Island, maybe.
Don't hang out on
Andrew?
Epstein Island because Princess Margaret, goddammit,
Not very likable.
She's not allowed to date.
Are we talking about the Crown now?
I'm talking about the Princess Margaret. I'm talking about Queen Elizabeth's sister.
Okay.
She's not allowed to date.
But this is from the Crown. This is not in the news.
I mean, I've seen the documentaries too.
Okay. All right.
They separate her from like guys who like her and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then you see these this guy. I'm gonna say the name Alfie.
Andrew.
Prince
Again,
Prince
Andrew.
Prince Andrew.
My
So-
name is Drew. Just say Andrew.
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Prince Andrew, like, how can he be just so dumb and like have such freedom to do whatever he wants?
What do you
that's
mean? He's
the entire
what
show.
do you mean?
No. When you watch a show,
Are you talking about the Crown now, or are you talking about
No, but
Prince
even-
Andrew in real life?
I'm talking about the royal family
We're
in
talking
real life.
about like a horrible like news event from this year.
I'm
and-
talking about the people. I'm talking about the royal family in real life.
Okay.
Whether it's the documentaries or the TV show, they're not allowed to do anything.
I don't. Okay, just to clarify.
They are very
just to clarify,
controlled.
Just to
They're very
clarify.
controlled.
Just to clarify.
Yeah, tell me.
How is he so stupid? How does he have the freedom? I don't know if it's stupid. I think it's malevolent and kind of evil what he was doing. Let's clarify that.
You think so?
Molesting little girls.
That yes.
That's not stupid. That's not like what.
I just think going into the last interview was pretty stupid. That's what I was talking about.
Okay, you gotta clarify this. We're getting letters. Amish.
Okay, so this last interview he goes into, he's supposed to be an expert on like I'm just saying, including that though too. The old royal family, I guess it just got more and more free.
Yeah.
But you watch the old documentaries, or if you watch in the Crown too, they're not allowed to do anything. Like that's what the show's about. They're just like following the princess around and being like, okay, well, what if
we're
she
getting
dates someone?
We're getting too deep into the Crown right now because England might actually. Well, not England. England might be its own thing. Scotland might be its own thing. Wales its own thing. Northern Ireland back with Ireland, right?
That's very exciting.
In the reality here,
That's
because
very exciting.
Why is that exciting to you?
It's changes. It's moving forward. It's like, dude, this
Is it
empire's
moving forward?
over. This empire's over.
Yeah.
Why are you? Do you know what their symbol is? And it's the crest. It's on our money. It's on our passport. But basically, the British crest that we still are essentially representing. The crest, it has a unicorn on one side and a lion on one side. The unicorn represents Scotland.
Yeah.
The lion is England.
Yeah.
The unicorn has a crown around its neck and it's chained to the shield.
Right.
Just as a reminder,
Yeah.
you're ours, bitch. It's like we own you.
Right.
It's on everything.
Right. I'm gonna look closer at that. next
So
time
I don't
see
know.
it.
I mean, look at it. I honestly, you'll see it on all of them. The crown you'll see around its neck,
Right.
the unicorn, and then the chain. Yeah, now that once you see it, it's hard not to see it.
You can't be unseen.
It's you almost forget. Yeah, you don't think that anything.
Well,
of
it's like you can make this argument though. Like in Spain, they have Catalonia, where they don't really want to be part of Spain. You know, should they be able to do their own thing? In France, you have Bretagne in the northern part of France. They don't want to be part of France. You have Corsica, you know, an island just off of France where Napoleon's from.
Wexit and Canada.
They don't want to be. You have Wexit.
Yeah,
they want to
Wexit.
go.
You got Montreal. Quebec. You
yeah.
got India has stuff that wants to
A
go.
lot of separatist.
Same thing but again, when I was in India, they were always feeling like we should all be united, and it's like everyone's got, like these countries might be an outdated idea, maybe I don't know.
Right. So because the big thing with the Brexit is that Ireland has the border between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, right?
Yeah.
And there was a Good Friday Agreement decades ago now that kind of put a peace treaty there. And with the EU, there's freedom of movement between the two because it's all the same continent, right? You don't have to have a passport. There's no border. But if they close it off, then people will start to feel, oh, the country's not the country anymore. So to kind of look away from that, like avoiding conflicts and reigniting issues, they're saying, why don't we just maybe reunify? You know, with the Scotland thing, Scotland had a referendum a couple years ago. 55% said let's stay in the UK, but they said no part of Scotland voted to leave. Like had a majority vote to leave the EU. They all wanted to remain.
Yeah.
They all Remain votes. So the fact that this Brexit is happening now, they're kind of like, all right, well, maybe we're out. We just want to be EU, you know.
Yeah.
And then now there's grumblings in Wales, even of people being like, you know what, we kind of want to maybe do our own thing too.
Wales?
Well, they're just sticking it. They're pretty Brexity, but they're saying they're dipping their toes in the water, being like, maybe we're gonna do our own thing.
That's weird. The Queen's from Wales, right? Isn't she the
I think you're thinking of
Princess
the
of Wales?
Princess Margaret, what's
I think their family. No, their house. It's House of Windsor.
House of Windsor. Yeah, you're thinking of
I don't
the Opera House or whatever they call it in Toronto here.
All right, whatever.
Princess of Wales Theatre.
Princess of Wales Theatre.
That's
Yeah.
what you're thinking of, the Prince of Wales Theatre. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But anyway, it's not looking good.
Looks
And
like
if Jeremy Corbyn wins, which he's like the Bernie Sanders of the UK, they say,
Uh-oh.
the leader of the Labour Party.
Lefty.
He's
gonna throw it all away, I
He
bet.
might have to make a coalition with the Scottish National
Ooh.
Party, and if he makes a coalition with the Scottish National Party, they might be up for another referendum. Then that might be what's on the table for holding that coalition together.
So he basically holds a coalition with people who are like, okay, now we're leaving the country.
We kind of want to go.
Because he's like, hey, with these guys, I have all the votes, and then he wins and like, hey, we're leaving, and he's like, Corby's like, I don't have any.
Whereas
enough
Boris
votes now.
Johnson and the Tories are saying we want to Brexit, we're gonna Brexit, and we're not gonna hold another referendum, which is kind of bizarre because you were the whole one who wanted the referendum for the Brexit, but now if other people want a referendum, you're not gonna give them theirs. Kind of weird.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Weird.
But yeah, so Boris Johnson.
Boris,
as we
Mr.
call him,
Popular,
the
Mr.
Boris,
Popular.
the man with the Boris Johnson, as we say. He is saying no more Scottish refs, no more Scottish refs. So could the UK fall apart? Potentially. Are we seeing the beginning of it? Maybe. Who knows? But
Who knows?
that's what's on the horizon. I don't know.
It's exciting. It's changes. You know, it's like this new.
That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same.
It's fine. It's gonna. Things are gonna change. Basically, like this is the slow change of. It's exciting. It's terrifying in a way, but basically, if you look at all of human history, these empires just rise and fall. We think that it's going to be a static American empire or
What happens
English
to Canada if they break apart? Also, is the Queen still the head of state?
No, she's out. She's out since the 70s. Only figurehead here.
No, she's the figurehead. But will she still? Will we be? Are we under England? Or are we under the United Kingdom?
Dude, we are now vassals of the American Empire. It's
I
all
know,
meaningless,
but
the whole shit.
technically, yeah, but we have the Governor General. He signs stuff into law.
Yeah,
and all
I
that
guess
stuff.
so.
What's gonna happen with all that? I'm just talking logistics.
Logistics, yeah, no. And also, like, if once the Queen dies, I guess, is the King going to be under money?
Well then,
It's her kid.
Prince Charles becomes the king.
Charles is the
Or
king?
he might not take it though, and he might give it to William.
I saw an article saying that
William becomes the king.
he is getting ready. They're getting him ready.
Oh, Charles wants to do it.
I think they might be getting him ready sooner. We got to look into
Charles
that
and
for
Camilla?
next time. But Charles is a good person to hand the reins to
Prince Andrew
as
is
the whole thing's
Charles'
going to break
brother,
apart.
By the way,
I know. That's what's so shocking about that because
I'm sure he's up to some.
He's weird too. No,
They're
Charles
all
has always
weird.
been kind of weird too.
They're all weird.
But Charles, no, I saw an article. We got to look into this. I think they're setting up a transition actually over to Charles, which seems perfect because man, if they're about to fall apart, that's the guy you want right there. You know what I mean?
Why him?
Don't do that while the Queen is alive. She's been through so much. The
Okay.
Queen.
Anyway,
She's the Queen. Whereas these, like the goodness.
you go
that
from
ended.
having your problems with the monarchy to loving them, and I think it's all just because of the crown. That crown royal propaganda bullshit has really got you, hey?
I'm talking shit about our kids.
Oh yeah, you're hook, line, and sinker. You're with her. You're with Lizzie too.
I think the boys are garbage.
You're down with Lizzie
but
too.
then the grandkids are great.
That Netflix show
Lizzie,
did a
I
number
love.
on you,
Margaret,
baby.
I love. Lizzie, I love. Margaret, I love. And I hate sue me.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
All right, listen.
Sorry, Lizzie, I love. Margaret, I love.
Lizzie, I love you. Listen,
They casted them with like the girls are too hot. They cast them, and now I'm brainwashed,
Okay.
and that's it. Okay,
All
there's
right.
nothing we can do. You go through that. You're watching a story. You're falling in love with someone, and that's it, dude.
Amish, look at a toonie and unbrainwash yourself. Guys, we gotta end the show.
We gotta go.
We gotta go.
All right, cool. Well,
It's been a long one. It's been. How are you? Okay with that?
I'm great, dude.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we missed yesterday. I had to shoot this thing, and I had a writing deadline.
It's
Things
okay.
happen,
You know,
but
we get delayed. That is what it is. It's the price of doing business.
it's the price of doing business. But we're keeping things on track. We're gonna be showing you guys a little more of the sausage going forward. And
Oh God! Stop saying that.
you brought up sausage.
We're gonna be showing you
I
guys
didn't
a
bring
little
up
bit more of
sausage today.
the knackwurst. We're gonna be pulling out that kielbasa.
The Breistwurst. Yeah, no, that's our show. Thanks for listening. Make sure you tell your friends.
Any plugs for you, quick?
Honestly, just follow me on Instagram at Fade to Brown, and of course at Understanding Pod. I got to do more stuff on Understanding Pod.
Yeah.
Follow me on Instagram.
Rate and review.
My life is so great.
Rate and review. Email Spotify. Tell them that you want to see us featured on one of their pages. Cause why aren't they doing that? Also, I have my weekly Lalo Laughs, Lalo Brewery, College in Dufferin, 1144 College Street, every Sunday night, 8 o'clock.
I told everyone about that
acts.
on set today.
Are they
on
going to
this
come?
TV show? I told because they were like, "Hey, do you have a show?" And I was like, "No, but come to." I was like, "I have a podcast."
He
and
often
then Lalo
does
Laughs.
spots. You often do
Lalo
spots,
Laughs
yeah.
on Sundays. I'm just calling it like a thing.
Yeah, no, please. Thank you for that. So yeah, that is another episode of Let's Come to an Understanding. Thank you so much for listening.
Let's come to an understanding. 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 Let's come to an understanding.